What if the universe is not what it appears to be? What if space, time, matter, and even your body are not fundamental, but projections of something deeper? And what if consciousness is not a late product of the universe, but the very condition that allows it to appear at all? Across physics, philosophy, and neuroscience, a radical idea is gaining attention. The universe may be holographic, not metaphorically, but literally. If this is true, then everything we experience as solid and three-dimensional could be encoded on a deeper, lower-dimensional reality. This immediately raises a profound question. If reality is a projection, what is doing the projecting? Could consciousness itself be the answer? The holographic universe theory emerged from serious problems in modern physics, especially black hole research. When physicists studied black holes, they encountered a paradox. According to quantum mechanics, information cannot be destroyed, but black holes seem to erase information forever. To resolve this contradiction, researchers like Gerard T. Hooft and Leonard Susskind proposed that all the information contained inside a black hole is actually stored on its surface. Nothing inside is lost. It is encoded on the boundary. This insight led to the holographic principle, the idea that the information describing a volume of space can be represented on a lower dimensional boundary of that space. In other words, a three-dimensional world may emerge from two-dimensional information. Just as a hologram encodes a full 3D image on a flat surface, the universe itself may be a projection from a deeper informational structure. What we perceive as depth, solidity, and separation could be emergent effects rather than fundamental features of reality. Space and time themselves may not be basic ingredients of the universe, but products of something more abstract. This shifts the foundation of physics away from matter and toward information. In classical physics, matter is primary and consciousness is secondary. In modern physics, this hierarchy begins to collapse. Quantum mechanics reveals that particles do not have definite properties until they are measured. Before observation, reality exists as probabilities rather than actualities. Entanglement shows that distant objects are deeply connected beyond space and time. Increasingly, physicists describe a universe in terms of information processing rather than mechanical interaction. But information alone is not enough. Information requires interpretation. A book full of symbols means nothing unless there is something capable of reading it. This brings consciousness into the picture in a way that science has long tried to avoid. Neuroscience typically claims that consciousness emerges from the brain, produced by neural activity. Yet despite decades of research, the hard problem of consciousness remains unsolved. No physical explanation has shown how subjective experience arises from objective matter. How does electrical activity become the feeling of being you? How does matter generate awareness? This failure has led some thinkers to consider a reversal of the traditional view. Instead of consciousness emerging from matter, matter may emerge within consciousness. In this framework, consciousness is fundamental, and the physical universe is its expression. The holographic universe, then, is not merely projected for consciousness, but projected through it. From this perspective, observation is not passive. It is participatory. Measurement does not simply reveal reality. It helps bring reality into being. This idea aligns with interpretations of quantum mechanics, where the act of observation collapses a wave of possibilities into a single outcome. Reality is not fully formed until it is experienced. Such a view radically alters our understanding of the self. Consciousness is no longer a fragile byproduct of biology trapped inside the skull. It becomes a fundamental aspect of existence, interacting with informational structures that give rise to space, time, and matter. This convergence of science and philosophy is striking, because similar ideas have appeared throughout human history. Plato's allegory of the cave describes humans mistaking shadows for reality, unaware of a deeper source behind appearances. Eastern philosophies speak of Maya, the illusion that makes the world seem independently real when it is not. Many African metaphysical traditions describe reality as layered, where the visible world emerges from an invisible, spiritual foundation. In the 20th century, physicist David Bohm proposed a concept of the implicate order, a deeper level of reality from which the explicate, observable world unfolds. In Bohm's view, everything is enfolded into everything else, and what we perceive as separate objects are surface manifestations of a unified whole. The holographic universe theory seems to echo these insights, but with mathematical precision, what philosophy and spirituality intuited symbolically. Physics now approaches through equations and experiments. The boundary between science and metaphysics grows thinner. If the universe is holographic and consciousness is fundamental, the implications are profound. Identity becomes deeper than the physical body. The self may not be confined to a particular location in space or time. Meaning is no longer something humans impose on a meaningless universe. It may be intrinsic to reality itself. Life and death may need to be reinterpreted. If consciousness is not generated by the brain but filtered through it, then death may not be the annihilation of awareness, but a transformation in how information is accessed. While this does not prove immortality, it challenges the assumption that consciousness begins and ends with biological processes. None of this is settled science. These ideas remain speculative and controversial. But what is undeniable is that modern physics is increasingly asking questions that sound philosophical, while philosophy is engaging seriously with scientific discoveries. The nature of reality, once thought to be a purely metaphysical concern, has become an empirical problem. So the question remains open. Is the universe a hologram? Is consciousness a projection mechanism behind it? Or are both emergent from an even deeper principle we do not yet understand? What is clear is that reality is far stranger than common sense suggests. The solid world may be less solid than it appears. Space and time may be effects, not causes. And consciousness may be far more central to the universe than we have ever imagined. If the universe is a hologram, then understanding consciousness may be the key to understanding everything. Remember to subscribe and share your comment below.